got Eternal Bantu coming in. Well, time to activate that Jaya Ballard. Stop that card draw. Pay the 7 mana, discard the Hall of Heliod's Generosity. The board gets blown up.
Today on Commander Replay, we check out this Augusta Dean of Order tap creature tribal deck and get up to some fun shenanigans with Endbringer. Next on Commander Replay.
Welcome back, everyone. Playing some Augusta Dean of Order today, and this is going to be a tap creature tribal kind of deck, and this is a very interesting opening hand. You know, part of me is tempted to play Plargg on the front side and keep this hand. I'm going to keep this. I'm going to try this. There's a lot of wheels in this deck too, so like we can make use of this hand. Also, Jaya allows us to turn these lands into burn spells, and that is also pretty cool. Ooh, looks like we're going last in the turn order. Don't like it. Don't like it. So yes, this is an Augusta Dean of Order deck, and the plan today is going to be to use a lot of tap creature abilities, generate a lot of value, and do some cool stuff. I'm not exactly sure how this deck wins. Haven't quite figured that out yet. There's a Kiki-Jiki, an Aurelia, and a Plargg in the deck, so like some combination of those things can probably find a way to get there. But yeah, we're going to explore around with this build, see what it feels like it might need, see if there's any changes we can make to it afterwards, but I'm excited about this. Ever since I built the Gigantha tap creature tribal deck, I'm all about the tap creatures now, so I'm pretty excited about playing this one, and we will see what happens today. That brings it to our first turn. We draw a Homeward Path, all of the lands. You know, we just don't need a land tax this early, so I'm going to play Flamekin Village tapped. Opponent did get themselves a Gravecrawler in on their last turn. Want to watch out for that. I'm sure that could do some stuff in that deck. You may be asking why there's an Urborg in this deck, and I will show you. Let's go take a peek at the deck list real quick. So here's the deck list. Got it reasonably well balanced, a little bit heavy on 3 drops, still 35 creatures in the deck, probably a little bit heavy for what this deck really wants to be and where Boros strengths kind of lie. But here's the deck. We got a couple things up here at the top. We got a Razia that we could potentially untap and do some fun stuff with. Machias to make our team huge, kind of cool. We got Emeria Shepherd for the reanimation combo with Burnished Heart. There's a lot of looting in this deck, so I just wanted some way to get stuff back. We have a couple new cards in the deck. We've got Angel of Ruins, which I'm very excited about. Hopefully we run into this one. I just want to get a look at it. We've also got Rune Grinder, same sort of thing. Doesn't specifically need to go into this deck, but I was able to get my hands on some copies of these today. Thanks to Sean for digging these out, and just wanted to try them. They're not widely available on Magic Online yet. They're still kind of a pain to get, so we were able to snag a couple copies of those today. But you'll see a lot of creatures that do tappy things, stuff like this. We got a Pentarch Paladin in the deck, kind of fun. Brigid is a card that I've wanted to use for a long time. So yeah, that's kind of the main plan of the deck, but the Urborg all comes down to this Stern Judge. Tap it, each player loses 1 life for each swamp they control. Thought this would be a cute little thing to throw into the deck. If you want to kill everyone with it, you will need a higher life total than your opponent, or have to find some way to make sure that they have more swamps than you. But I thought that'd be a fun little thing to toss in there, so I went for it. I did it. Anyway, that brings it back to our turn. Opponent's got some stuff coming in. Stitcher Supplier for the Ghoulcaller Ghisa opponent. Also a Soul Ring in there. You. And Argul's Bloodfast for the Polukranos opponent. What land are we playing this turn? Are we actually going to get the land tax in? Or maybe we get yeah, let's get Plargg in. We have some looting that I think we need to do. We'll just get a Plains right here. That seems like it makes a lot of sense. Cast Plargg, because we do need to loot past some of these lands. And eventually we'll want this to die so that we can get Augusta back on the other side. Gomazoa. What? 3 mana 0/3 Defender Flying. Tap it, put Gomazoa and each creature it's blocking on top of their owner's libraries. Then those players shuffle. That's fun. Anyway, finishing up some thoughts on the deck. We have some creatures with some burn abilities that'll be good for pinging down our opponent's stuff, but yeah, the win condition in this deck is not abundantly clear. It's probably some combination of 6 drops, reanimating a bunch of stuff, maybe a Razia, something like that, and just kind of try to value our way to victory, I guess is the plan for now. If you really want to make it spiky, you could add some Kiki-Jiki combos in here and just go full tilt with Kiki-Jiki combos and that sort of thing. So that's something that you could do. I decided not to do that today. Gravecrawler coming our way. Yeah, we're not going to block. The 1/1 going over to Dewubber. So let's take a peek at our commander. Like I said, we're supposed to be on the Augusta Dean of Order side, so I'll read that one first. It's a 3-mana 1/3. It says, other tapped creatures you control get +1/+0, good for attacking. Other untapped creatures you control get +0/+1, good for blocking. Whenever you attack, untap each creature you control, then tap any number of creatures you control. Pretty cool ability. Oh my. Soul Ring into Altar of Dementia for opponent. Those are good. Those are good. Fiend Artisan, that is also a very good card. A lot of things happening over there. Makes me kind of nervous. Feel like we probably need to start shooting things. There's a War Room. That's card draw, and that is helpful. Let's use the Plargg. We'll discard a card and then draw a card. We'll discard the Mountain. Gives us the least. A lot of utility lands in our hand. There's an Emeria. Wow. All the lands. Well, that being the case, play this Windswept Heath. Crack this Windswept Heath. Get a Plateau, play this Jaya Ballard. Next turn might, unless we draw something cool, might look something like play War Room, leave up our mana, use War Room. I would love to find our Walking Atlas just to get these lands into play. That would be super, super helpful. Daxos of Meletis coming into play. Oh, by the way, looking at the front side of our commander, so who we inadvertently had to play just because we are flooding super hard is Plargg, Dean of Chaos, 2-mana 2/2. Tap it, discard a card, then draw a card. Pretty cool little elude ability just to toss into a 2/2 right there, and probably going to give it a lot of value just in a lot of Boros decks, I think, because I think that's just a handy thing to have at a very efficient mana cost. And then the second ability is pay 5, tap it, reveal cards from the top of your library until you reveal a non-legendary, non-land card with mana value 3 or less. You may cast it without paying its mana cost. Put all cards revealed this way, not cast, on the bottom in a random order. That's a pretty cool little ability too. Maybe it's a little bit expensive mana-wise to do that, but there are probably some ways to cheat around that. I haven't thought about it deeply yet, but, you know, some sort of infinite mana is obviously going to be good in the Heb, Mana Geyser type thing, and then throw a Staff of Domination in there, and I'm sure you're off to the races. But that may also be helpful if we just, like, continue to draw nothing to give us, like, something that we can cast our way into. Might be kind of helpful. Let's take a peek at what our opponents are playing today. First up is Delta Fiend piloting Daxos of Meletis. It's a 3-mana 2/2. It can't be blocked by creatures with power 3 or greater. Whenever it deals combat damage to a player, exile the top card of that player's library. You gain life equal to its mana cost. Until end of turn, you may cast that card, and you may spend mana as though it were any color to cast it. Pretty good. Pretty cool little Azorius Voltron commander. Generates lots of value, gains a lot of life. Pretty sweet. That's a Death Baron coming into play. Ew. Skeletons and zombies get +1/+1 in Death Touch. Seems pretty good. Might have to go on the Jaya Ballard plan pretty soon. Start doing 3 damage to things. Opponent's going to sacrifice their Gravecrawler to make some 2/2s. Yeah, that seems like a good idea. Opponent's also got a Phyrexian Tower in place. They can sacrifice for more mana. A lot of mana generation stuff came in super early in this game. 2 Soul Rings, the Phyrexian Tower. It's not the best. Relentless Dead coming into play. Ugh. Stitcher Supplier going on the attack. Wouldn't be sad to see a board wipe. I know we lose Jaya Ballard, and I just really like Jaya Ballard as a card. Never get to run it as much as I want to, so that would make me sad, but there is a big zombie problem happening right now, so a board wipe will probably be necessary. Opponent blocked with their Gomazoa and shuffled the things back into the libraries. That's fun. Ooh, here comes a Rankle. Ooh, that's a nasty card. Opponent's going to crack a Jund Panorama. I assume since they're at 2 cards, they're on the draw a card mode. The question is whether they're going to go on the sacrifice a creature mode. On the board state, I don't feel like that makes sense, but you never really know. Especially against like zombie tokens, just doesn't seem like that's a profitable move. Rankle into the zombies opponent. We could really use the card draw. Rankle hits. They're going to make each player discard, then each player draw. We'll discard the Battlefield Forge. A lot of utility lands. Hall of Helios Generosity, another land. We need to shuffle. Now I've kind of run out of cards that I want to discard too. Sort of annoying. These are all kind of good. Path of Ancestry, another land. Wow. Wow. I should have just mulliganed. Let's go. I guess we activate Plargg first. What are we discarding? Yeah, we can discard Path of Ancestry, I think. Discard Path of Ancestry. I know we're a little bit jammed on red mana right now, but at the rate we're finding lands here, I'm not too worried about it. Oh my god, that's a Keeper of the Accord. That's huge. That is so huge. Okay, we need an untapped land, that being the case. Let's get the Homeward Path. There's 2 black decks at the table, so Mass Reanimation is a thing that can happen later on. And we'll just stay put with our creatures. No real reason to go anywhere. This is actually a nice pickup. Hopefully the green player will ramp a card also. Opponent's going to put Eidolon of Countless Battles on the Daxos. Yep, that's going to give it +1/+1 for each aura you control. Yeah, it's a 4/4. Going to swing into the zombie's opponent. Opponent hits a Mind Stone off of their library, but they gain 2 life. End step trigger. Here comes the ramp. Yeah, we'll get a plains. Is this plains only? Yep, search for a basic plains. Love it. So I've talked about this a bit in some random places, Twitter, maybe in a YouTube community post, I forget. But the thing with Keeper of the Accord is that if you are not playing first, this actually does ramp you, because that was our 5th land and we've only had 4 turns. When it comes back to our turn, it'll be our turn 5 and we'll be able to play our 6th land. And as long as you're not playing first, that'll always be an option that's available to you. If you're playing first, you'll need like a green player to ramp a bit to be able to execute that same sort of thing. But that's what makes Keeper of the Accord so strong, and the fact that it just continues to trigger. It does a lot of nice things. And if it doesn't get wiped, we'll just be able to keep pace with our opponents, not having to like do much else. We've already paid the 4 mana, so we can just focus on doing other things during our turn. And that's what makes it really, really good. So I've still seen some people that undervalue this card by a pretty good amount, saying, quote, it doesn't ramp you, it's only catch up. And that's not true. Based on the scenario that we're in right now, it's going to put us a land ahead of the turn count. So I definitely like that. If the green player ramps for some reason, then potentially 2. And it's also going to get us some tokens, and tokens will be nice for blocking, sacking to the rankle, and stuff like that. Also, just being a 3/4, it's enough to deter some of this stuff too, which is helpful. Opponents take some damage off the zombies. Hedron Archive for opponent. Here comes Gravecrawler back to play. Keeper of the Accord, we'll get a 1/1. So the Rankle sacrifice doesn't bother us nearly as much now. Rankle going on the attack. Into the zombie player once again. Oh, importantly, Keeper shuffled our library, which I think is a thing that needed to happen, because there seemed to be a lot of clumping with our opening hand. We are 16 cards into our library, and we've looked at 13 lands. It's a little more than a third of our lands hanging out in the top 16. No big deal. Rankle. They're going, each player loses 1 life and draws a card. Cool, we need cards. Dismissive Pyromancer, more looting. And something that we can turn into some removal if need be. I knew there was a lot of looting in the deck, also our commander, so that's kind of why I wanted to try out a hand that had a lot of lands like this. Evolutionary Escalation. At the beginning of your upkeep, put 3 +1/+1 counters on target creature you control and 3 on target creature an opponent controls. That's spicy. Makogoro, more lands. More lands. Oh, man. Alright, what are we doing this turn? Land tax no longer useful to us because our land count is now tied with our opponents. So we can loot the land tax. Eventually, we're going to run into non-lands. There's a Signet. That's something. That is something. Let's get the War Room into play. I kind of want to draw the extra card since we're just not hitting gas. And I guess also that leaves us with enough mana to activate Jaya Ballard if need be, and the War Room. So I think we'll pass like that. Anything worth attacking? A lot of zombies over there. I think I just want to stay put still. We are not a highly aggressive deck. I'm all about that chip damage, but I'd like to keep our life total high, especially if we're going to burn it a little bit with War Room. Oh man, my kingdom for that Walking Atlas. Where's Walking Atlas? Web of Inertia, oh no. At the beginning of combat on each opponent's turn, that player may exile a card from their graveyard. If the player doesn't, creatures they control can't attack you this turn. Yeah, I've seen this card before. It's generally a problem for me. This deck in its current setup is a little light on artifact and enchantment removal. I had those cards in the deck, and there was like 130 cards in the deck, so I was trying to cut to get down to size, and I didn't really rebalance the removal in the way that I needed to, but the other 2 players have plenty of incentive to try and get rid of that, I think, so we'll probably just try and let them deal with it. The mono black deck probably gonna have a rough time with it. That's gonna be like an Unstable Obelisk or Universal Solvent or one of those really expensive overcosted cards. Although there's the new Lesson that's only 5 mana that may actually, I wonder if they put that into the deck. Did I introduce D-Manny, by the way? So in the middle is D-Manny piloting Ghoulcaller Ghisa, and I think he's finally updated this deck list to be more modern. We talked about it in Discord after some games where it had showed up in video and really struggled, and the problem was he was cheating on mana. So he was just always getting stuck and never able to like do the thing. In this game, he's got all the mana, so he's doing the thing, and there's a lot of zombies running around. And it's kind of been the running joke that, like, Ghoulcaller Ghisa has not performed well in the many times that it showed up on the channel. And it's not that I think it's a bad commander. I think D-Manny and other people who have played it as well, I think we're all cheating on mana a bit too much and just didn't get to do their thing because they literally got stuck on lands. So he's having a pretty good showing with it today, and you know, we aren't that far away from just being overrun with zombies. Some big support spell here could be kind of a nightmare. And our final opponent is DeWubber piloting Polukranos Unchained. Interesting one out of Theros. 4 mana 0/0, enters the battlefield with 6 +1/+1 counters on it. It escapes with 12 plus counters on it instead. If damage would be dealt to it while it has plus counters on it, prevent that damage and remove that many counters. And you can pay 3 to have it fight another creature, and you can pay 6 to have it escape, exiling 6 other cards from your graveyard. Pretty interesting. I haven't played it myself. I don't know exactly how good it is, but it does get huge. It fights other creatures. There's a lot of text on the card. The first time I read that, my initial thought was, that seems like it should be really, really good in Standard. And people were like, nah, the stuff in Standard is way crazier than that. I'm like, oh my god. You kidding me? Back in my day, when I played Standard, this would just like wipe the field. This was better than like anything in all the Standards that I played. There was no internet back then. You had to walk to school uphill, backwards, and barefoot. Opponent doing some attacks with the zombies. There's a 4/3 coming our way. I think we just block the Gravecrawler. We'll get another token at the end step. Block the Gravecrawler. Oh, it has Menace. I see. That is unfortunate. Yeah, I'm not trading 2 things into the Gravecrawler. Wait, are there 4/4s coming up? There's 4/4s coming our way. Well, that being the case, I'm going to shoot the Death Baron. Oh, I misspoke about the mana situation on War Room. Jaya Ballard is 2 to activate, not 1. Sadly. We're going to discard a card. Oh, what are we getting rid of? I don't think we need the Pyromancer right now. Yeah, opponent's going to sacrifice it, but it still cuts down the amount of damage, and that's helpful. Kind of wish I went for the Makokoro instead, just to make sure we have the draw, but ugh. Oh, actually, you want what we can do? We can do the Jaya Ballard, discard a card, and do 6 damage to each creature and player. I think that's probably where we're going next turn, because there are definitely some problems on board. Keeper of the Cord and step trigger. Opponent's going to draw a card with Argul's Bloodfast. We went down to 29 off that attack, by the way. Didn't appreciate that. Opponent's going to draw another card. Yep, burning that life. We get another token. Evolutionary Escalation. Let's see what they want to do with this. If they put it on the Keeper, it would survive the Jaya Ballard. I don't think that they'll do that, though. Daxos, if they put it on Daxos, would survive the Jaya Ballard. You're going to put it on a token. That's fine. We have 1 beefy token. Oh, that's a Protean Hulk. With a sacrifice outlet. Ew. Let's see how bad this is going to get. Opponent's thinking not. They're going to memory lapse the Protean Hulk. Love it. If it's countered this way, put it on top of that player's library instead of into the graveyard. It's good news. Kind of lose a draw. Memory lapse is kind of nasty. On a play like that, you lose your whole turn. I guess they can get it back with the Rankle right here if they want to. Web of Inertia. It's going to eat stuff out of their graveyard, which is actually going to be an issue for them. They need to have 6 cards to escape Polukranos, so that's a thing. They're going to send the Rankle over to the Daxos, sure. Rankle's going to hit. Let's see what they go with. Well, they're going with all 3, I think. Oh, that'll get rid of the Daxos. Yeah, that's a thing. There are 2 black players at the table, so I don't think we're going to need the Urborg to do the trick. They will naturally have a lot of swamps in play as the game goes on, and like eventually one of them will probably play their own Urborg anyway, so I think we can get rid of that. I'm thinking there might be a need for Crucible of Worlds in this deck. Maybe it's just because we've had this super awkward hand with all of our lands in it, but there's an Endbringer that can draw us cards. Still going to be a few turns away from it based on the fact that we need to do the Jaya Ballard thing, but that'll be a nice follow-up play to the Jaya Ballard. This is a cool card that you really don't get to run very much. It just doesn't fit into a lot of decks very neatly. It's a little bit mana intense also, but I think this could be a really good deck for it, or at least it'll probably be like one of the better decks for it. So excited to get this thing. Hopefully we can stick this into like an empty board, and I think it could actually get quite a bit done, that being the case. And finally, it's something that matters that we can play, so that is good news also. There's a Burnished Heart. That's some ramp that we so badly need. What's coming into play? We can get the Emeria into play this turn. I don't really want to discard either of these to the Plargg. We'll see. If something happens, maybe we will, but Web of Inertia, I guess we could discard a land and go attack something. Might as well, right? Yeah, we'll just attack like that. Notably, this will get us 2 planes, which will be very good for our Emeria count. Opponent's going to block with a 1/1. Yeah. Ooh, opponent put a Genesis into their graveyard. That's an unbelievably powerful card. In a game like this, that's probably going to go long based on this Jaya Ballard. That's a very good late game card. Opponent blocks with the Eidolon. We'll pass. Thinking about what to discard, man. Hall of Heliod's Generosity gets some good stuff back. Notably, Martial's Anthem is a repeatable recursion effect, so I really don't want to discard that. Burnish Heart is too valuable at the ramp, so I think it's Makokoro. And based on the way opponents' hands have been, I kind of don't want to feed them cards. They are a little bit low. Yeah, we can get rid of the Makokoro, especially with the Endbringer, so I think that's going to be our discard. Since there's nothing on the stack right now, I'm going to discard the Makokoro right now just to loot and look at an additional card. It's a Solemn Simulacrum. Also good. Who are we discarding? Oh, we discarding the Hall of Heliod's Generosity? Oh, it's so good, though. I guess we could Misspell Plains it back to the bottom. That's a thing that we can do. Some point whenever Misspell Plains shows up. God Eternal Bantu coming in. Well, time to activate that Jaya Ballard. Read this again. Sacrifice any number of other permanents, then draw that many cards. Yeah, it's Jaya Ballard time. Stop that card draw. Pay the 7 mana, discard the Hall of Heliod's Generosity. Opponent's going to sacrifice their Fiend Artisan to mill themselves. The board gets blown up. We'll send our commander back to the command zone. Opponent's got some mana floating for Relentless Dead. Life totals are kind of bleeding from the aggro this game. All the rankle hits and stuff. Zombie hits. Opponent's going to get back their Death Baron. Yep. Ooh, that comes straight back to play. That's the thing. Sacrifices the Death Baron, gets an additional card. Plays the Gravecrawler. An opponent said that's why they didn't just recast Daxos. Yep. No reason to do that with board wipe staring you in the face. Genesis and Evolutionary Escalation. I think it fizzles because they don't have a creature, if I'm reading it right. Opponent has a Brawn in their graveyard. Watch out for that one. They're going to target their Fiend Artisan. They going to get it back? Probably. That's a very good card. No, they didn't pay. Hardened Scales for opponent. We could use a low mana cost play. Burnish Heart's going to be a bit with 6 mana. Polukranos. Oh. Hey now. Doesn't escape, but it still comes in with 7+ counters on it, and it can fight stuff. Seems good. Web of Inertia. Yeah, that Web of Inertia. It's going to be good. Depending on how long this game goes, just keep exiling stuff. Eventually we'll get to stuff that matters. Doomscar is a magic card. That's exactly the low mana play that we want. So, beautiful. I love it. I need to test with this card more. There are definitely situations where I think the Foretell cost is a really big upside. I'm still trying to decide between, it's kind of the question between this, Fumigate, and Rout, and those are all really good cards, so still need to test a bit more, but order, and that's really bad for what we're trying to do. We are trying to set up an Emeria. Opponent sacrifices their Gravecrawler for mana. Ooh, Liliana Death's Majesty. That's a magic card. Gonna return the Grave Titan, no big deal. Mausoleum Secrets. Ooh, search their library. 5 is the creatures in the graveyard, and that's pretty good. Opponent gets a Timuret Chosen from Death. Exile up to 2 cards from graveyards. Yeah, that seems good. Exiling stuff seems good. You gain 1 life for each creature exiled this way. That seems really good. That seems like a great place to be. We have 3 decks poised to use their graveyards. Gravecrawler back to play. Yep. Web of Inertia. Informing opponents of Doomscar. Told them they're going to want to wait on that Timuret, because we're going to want to exile some zombies. Opponent's going to pump up our Burnish Heart. It's not going to do that much, though, since we will be cracking it very soon. Genesis trigger on the Fiend Artisan. There's the Protean Hulk. Let's see what kind of problems this causes. Web of Inertia. Ideally, they'll send the Polukranos into the Liliana and get rid of that. Ooh, this is 1 damage to any target. That's kind of big, actually. That means we can poke down the Liliana without having to attack it. Yeah, they're going to send it into the Liliana. Love it. If they blocked with everything, would I still Doomscar? I don't know. We'll crack the Burnish Heart right now. I'm not in a blind rush to get to Emeria because of the Ghost Quarter, so I'll probably actually grab a mountain in here. 1 plains, 1 mountain. Gotta be careful of our plains count for Emeria Shepherd. Vraska's Contempt on the Polukranos works for me. I bet they mill themselves with it, unless they forget. Yeah, they're gonna mill themselves. The graveyard's gonna be a problem. Did not pack enough graveyard removal. Also gonna sacrifice the Protean Hulk. Do some Protean Hulk things. What an unfair magic card. Just gets a Worm Coil. It's not a bad choice. Even if we Doomscar, they'll still have some 3/3s left over. The lifelink also huge on this table. Life's getting low. Ooh, there's a Temple of Triumph. Anything we need to do first? I don't think so. Play the Temple of Triumph. Scry 1. Pentrarch Paladin. That's pretty reasonable. 2 black decks at the table, so we'll keep that on top. Definitely don't play the Solemn this turn. Play the Endbringer. Oh, nope. Almost messed that up. Play the Doomscar first. Oy. That would have been bad. It's a Doomscar, as was foretold. Opponent's gonna path the Bantu. I can appreciate that. Doesn't want any part of that. That one's not indestructible. It would have died. I wonder if they got confused for a minute, or if they just really don't want to see it that much. Or is he trying to shuffle something away? Oh, when it dies, it goes back on top. That's why. That's why he's doing it. Okay. I'm on board now. I see what's happening. Oh, dies or is put into exile? You may put it third from the top? Well, that doesn't do the thing at all. But does Path of Exile cancel out the putting it on top? I think it might. Yeah. Yeah, no. It's third from the top now because of the timing of the abilities. I don't think that worked out exactly how they wanted it to go. But that is a Path of Exile that is not going to hit our Endbringer. So everything gets blown up again. Wormcoil Engine triggers. We're going to play Endbringer. Leave 1 mana up like it's a path. Opponent citing a mistake with the Path of Exile. Yeah. Dowsing Dagger, good card. Who's getting the plant tokens? We are getting the plant tokens. Sweet. We have some defenders. Helpful against zombies and Wormcoil tokens. Petrarch Paladin naming black is going to be quite funny. I'm very excited. Hopefully they play like one big expensive thing that we can shoot, and their entire turn will get wasted. That'll be very exciting. Problem is we won't be able to play that and Solemn Simulacrum all on the same turn. We kind of need to do both. Actually, I guess we can draw a card with Endbringer. Opponent's going to Night's Whisper. I'm not huge on draw 2s in Commander, maybe in CEDH, but outside of CEDH, I don't think a draw 2 is really impactful enough. Like, if that were an Ambitions cost, that's going to do much more for him. Promise of Power, Moonlight Bargain. Those are real nice draw spells. I get that they're less efficient, but drawing 3, 4, or 5 cards is so much better than drawing 2. Drawing 2, you can often draw 2 cards that you don't need right then. When you get up to like 3 or 4, now you're talking about like at least one of them is probably something you're looking for. You're probably looking for like a land in there, land removal spell, land creature, something like that. When you're drawing only 2, a lot of times you just don't get what you're looking for a lot. So I'm not huge on draw 2s. Well, it does get them back to this Bantu, and that will get them into some more serious card draw. So that does seem good. Delta Fiend's thinking not. They're going to render silent that God Eternal Bantu. Love it. Render Silent is a nasty counter spell. Counter target spell, its controller can't cast spells this turn. So finally slowing the zombie onslaught right there. There's the Web of Inertia. And at some point we can ping down the Gravecrawler just to annoy them to death. Wait, what do I think we can do? I think we can draw a card one time with Endbringer, which will be sweet. Genesis and Evolutionary Escalation. Pump the Lifelinker and pump one of our plant tokens. We're going to have a big plant token. We'll trade with a lot of things. Man, this card is strong. Makes tensions on the board escalate. Get it? Oh, they went for the Death Touch one. Oh, I guess huge Death Touch trample is cool too. If I were at 17, I'd be going on the lifelink personally, but that's just me. Genesis trigger. Are they paying? They did. I didn't see what they got though. Returning Wormcoil Engine. No big deal. There's the lifelink. Petrarch Paladin cannot hit colorless. That is not a choice that you can make. Timuret, Chosen from Death, coming into play. Yep, need to start exiling some graveyard stuff. Way too much graveyard shenanigans this game. Exiling Grave Titan and Bantu. Oh, that puts Bantu back on top though. Oh wait. No, it has to be from the battlefield. It does not. So it has to be on the battlefield for that ability to trigger, which when it's in the graveyard, it is not. So it is permanently into exile now. Love it. Opponent gonna send a 7/7 into the Liliana. Yep. Uh-oh, they changed their mind. Oh, they're gonna send it our way. Ooh, really? That's what we're doing? Nope, changes their mind again. Back to the Liliana, yay! Just click OK, just do it. Opponent really waffling on who to attack here. I told him we cool. There we go, big attack into the zombie player, love it. Down goes the Liliana. They go to 16. Dewubber back to 21. Lifelink is big business on this board. There's the Petrarch Paladin. Yeah, I mean, I guess we play it. Choosing black. What do these have? That's a 2/2 and that's a 2/1. Okay, we can exile something and do some attacking. Web of Inertia trigger. Exile a Windswept Heath. We'll attack D-Manny. They'll block with a 2/2. So we'll pass like that, leaving our effects up. You know, I'm nervous about shooting their Gravecrawler because they might respond by shooting our Amaria with the Ghost Quarter, and that I wouldn't love. Here comes Daxos back to play. Daxos is Baxos. Someone said that in the chat of a game once a long time ago. I do believe it's time to draw a card. It's an Achroma's Will. That's a real magic card. That's a win condition. We need to get a bunch more creatures first, but given enough time, it can do things. Vigilance in here? Yep, Vigilance is a keyword. Vigilance probably going to be really powerful for this deck. Still got to work out some of the keywords that I want in this deck. Haven't quite figured out all the support enchantments and stuff like that yet. Probably need to get the creature count down just a little bit. I think it's like high 30s right now, which is Probably a little too high. Probably right around 30. 28 to 32 is probably where this deck wants to be, I would think. Probably need to get a Skull Clamp into the deck for some just kind of more natural card draw. D-Manny says, dang, I used to think this card I drew was great. Doesn't do much here. Let's see what it is. It's funny how cards change like that. Burnished Heart? Wonder if that's the card. Burnished Heart, still really good. Relentless Dead coming back. They are pretty relentless. Especially when you get that early Soul Ring mana into the early Hadron Archive mana. He's had excess mana all game. Funny story, we can make things not attack, although we need colorless mana to do that. We are out of colorless mana. We did end up discarding a few colorless mana producers, which is not the best. Never a Walking Atlas when you need it. Opponent's gonna sacrifice the Relentless Dead, do Shenanigans, get back the Death Baron. Opponent is out of mana to exile stuff. Opponent's gonna pay for the Death Baron, might as well ping the Gravecrawler. Also, they've tapped their Ghost Quarter at this point. Aha, got him. Gravecrawler down. Web of Inertia. Genesis Evolutionary Escalation. Starting to get a little scary now. Gonna put it on the Burnished Heart. That's a good choice. And on their Lifelink. You know, I'm glad they're putting it on the Lifelink one because the Death Touch one, that's pretty scary because you can only block one of it. That's hard to deal with. Genesis trigger on Corpsejack Menace. They pan? No. Izoni coming into play. That's a very strong card. How much mana do they have left? That's a black permanent though. I may shoot that, but not till after opponents declare attacks. Hopefully they don't see our Flamekin Village. Oh my god, that's 10 tokens. That's insane. Yeah, that's going to be a problem. I guess we can start shooting tokens. Yeah, Endbringer can chew through those tokens somewhat quickly. That's 11 tokens. The opponent says bugs. All the bugs. Opponent's going to exile Gravecrawler and our Keeper of the Accord. Keeper makes me sad. Although I think we're leading on lands. Although not on creatures though. Web of Inertia. Exiles a land. Uh-oh. Opponent's sending the big death touchy one our way. Sends the lifelink over to Daxos. Yeah, I guess we'll block one with the plant token. We go down to 16, lose the token. Daxos down to 8. Ooh. Oh, they go up to 29. Ouch. The lifelink's totally going to win this game. I don't know that we have enough artifact and enchantment removal in this deck to deal with what they have going on. An austere command for artifacts and enchantments would, I think, kill one thing of ours and many from our opponents. That is unusual. Unusual circumstances. So, Flamekin Village on the Pentarch Paladin. Give it haste, shoot the Izoni. That thing's crazy. Although, I guess they can Genesis and just do it again. It takes a lot of mana to do that, though. Opponent's gonna mill us. Okay, they mill us for 1. It's a mountain, no big deal. Strip mine. They mill us for 2, rather. Endbringer, shoot a token. They mill us again. It was a Rakamar. I did want that one. Mana Crypt is more colorless mana. Actually, kind of helpful. Cast that. I don't think we're attacking anywhere. Draw some cards. Although, we could use our thing to untap. I don't think we're there yet. I think we need to value. That's a Marshal's Anthem. What's in our graveyard? A 2/2. A Jaya Ballard is not awful. A Burnished Heart is not awful. And a Rakamar. Take us a lot of mana to do that. What's that? That's 3 creatures. So 3 creatures I think is 10 mana with a lot of white. We'd have 1 mana left over. Question is, does that do enough? What that does do is put bodies on the board, which sets us up for a Chroma's Will. And then we can leave 1 up to use Endbringer to stop the Death Touchy one from attacking us. That seems fairly reasonable. I guess that's the plan. Also makes our stuff bigger, which is kind of cool. We won't have white mana for Pentarch Paladin, though. I guess we probably just have to deal with that. Oh, that's so much white mana. I will be upset if someone immediately board wipes. Marshal's Anthem. Oh, looks like we can only get 3. Get Jaya, Burnished Heart, Rakamar. We have a bunch of things into play. And we will pass like that. Oh, you know what we can do? We can Jaya Ballard into a Chroma's Will next turn. That seems like a very good line of play. Nothing to the Web of Inertia. No attacks. Opponent says that's something spicy. Opponent puts a Dowsing Dagger on the Daxos. Where do they want to send it? Can we not block them anymore? Yeah, they're going to send it our way. Ouch. Really, opponent? Yeah, our life total is going to get shredded a bit here. Down to 12. Dowsing Dagger will flip. Daxos trigger. Austere Command would actually be kind of good, I think. I don't think we would lose as much as everyone else would. Lordhold Command is interesting. What do they go with here? Probably the draw card. Probably sack and draw. They have a board wipe. They can go for Indestructible. Actually, no, they still have to cast this by paying the mana. It's not a free cast. That's fine. I don't know that we needed a lore hold command in this second. They go back to 13. We're down to 12. We're probably going to die to like a Blood Artist effect or something dumb like that. It'll be super annoying. Oh, there's a Massacre Worm in the graveyard. Well, I guess we have sized ourselves out of Massacre Worm, so that's helpful. Still can get you, though. Lore hold command, shooting the Timuret. Interesting. And they're going to sacrifice permanent, then draw 2 cards. What do they sacrifice? They will Altar of Dementia their Timuret. Mind Stone for opponent. Opponent's going to crack their Burnish Chart. Yep. We will shoot a token. Opponent gets their lands. Mind Stone. Stitcher Supplier for opponent. I forgot this thing has flanking. They were all about the flanking in Time Spiral. What a weird mechanic. Much better in 60 card Magic. Not great for Commander. Just doesn't do enough. Relentless Dead back to play. Still very relentless. I wish they would have exiled that at some point. Ghoulcaller Ghisa back to play. No haste, fortunately. Ghost Quarter's still up. Oh, funny story. If we did the lifelink thing with Jaya Ballard, we would gain a lot of life. Although opponent could sacrifice all their stuff in response if they wanted, which would probably make sense. But that would gain us a large amount of life. Assuming that we didn't just win the game from doing a Chroma's Will and all that stuff. Opponent sacrifices the Relentless Dead. Just going to keep doing it. Opponent gets back a Crypt Breaker. Recast the Relentless Dead. Ghost Quarter's tapped. That makes me very happy. This is our 5th and 6th planes. That's our 7th planes. So if we can eliminate them, then Ameria should be kind of safe. Although there isn't a lot left in our graveyard, but, you know, if removal starts flying here, it'll be kind of a thing. We're going to shoot another 1/1. They still have 8 when they untap on their turn, which is still a lot. It's just a lot of creatures. They're going to mill themselves. Ooh, we have to be careful. Opponent might just have more damage than we have life. No, maybe not. Probably have to give something up, though. And there's an evolutionary escalation. Gross. Yeah, ooh, nice. They're going to pump the Death Touch one, which we are certainly not going to allow to attack. Opponent's going to escalate on the Daxos. Yeah, that's a thing. Oh, Genesis targeting Eternal Witness. No. All right, what are we going to lose to? I hate Eternal Witness. Another Protean Hulk. One saving grace is they're a little light on mana. Yep, here comes the Eternal Witness. What do they get back? Looks like only 3 mana left. Getting back Mausoleum Secrets. Good card, but that means they don't have the thing. They need to go find the thing. I think this might be our window. Hope that's not a counterspell over there. Opponent's leaving their mana up. Web of Inertia. I'll just do it right now so I don't mess it up. This creature cannot attack, because it will kill us. Web of Inertia trigger. Doesn't exile anything? Oh, no attacks? Did we blunt the assault? I think that's a magic card. Sounds like a White Fog or something like that. Yep, everything our way. Here they come. Block this one right there. That'll trample over for 1. I'd really love to kill that thing, but that's a lot of valuable blocking that we'd have to give up to do it. It's better for us to not give up any attackers right here because of the Achroma's Will. Oh, the lifelink is going to be an issue, though. They're going to gain a lot. I doubt we have enough mana to go Jaya Ballard, Achroma's Will. Opponent's going to start the milling. Could use something big and hasty, but we're also kind of short on mana. It's a tough spot here. The fact that they keep gaining life is kind of a thing. Oh, you want to know what, though? Our commander will give us additional power, which should hopefully get us over the hump math-wise. Opponent hits a Vigor. It'll shuffle. Soul Guide Lantern, Shadow Spear into the graveyard. So they sack all the ones that weren't getting through. Our plant goes down. We go down to 7. Whew. Opponent's at 36. He's back to our turn. Mana Crypt. Getting down there. Let's go Tails. Lost the flip. Let's get a little bit lower. Why not? Why not? There's a Plains. Play a Plains. That is Plains number 5. Let's cast our commander. Let's get Augusta. Augusta, Dean of Order, finally coming into play. Oh, God. Opponent's doing stuff. Oh, they're cracking a Mind Stone. Okay. Cracking a Mind Stone is totally cool. We could give this haste, actually. All right, let's just check on our math right now. So if we doubled everything up, that's going to be... That doesn't have haste. What is that? 19 is 38? That's exactly enough to kill Jeff DeWubber. Could we also get D-Manny in the Crossfire? Because that would be even more ideal. Let's just assume everything was tapped for a moment. 24, so that'd be 48. They have 52 life between them, which means this would have to be tapped, and that would be 3. I don't think we can get both of them. Ooh, Endbringer might be able to finish it, though. Okay, so if this were tapped, if everything's tapped, how much is that? That's 54? And then we Endbringer twice to finish him? Yep, we have a plan. Haste our commander. Oh, we can get a little bit of extra damage with Rakamar also. Rakamar, make a token. A Chroma's Will, all abilities. We'll leave up the colorless. It resolves. Go to combat. Web of Inertia. Exile a mountain. All right, we need to get to 19 on Dewubber. That'll be 5 plus 3 is 8 plus 4 is 12 plus 7 is 19. And then I think these two can go at D-Manny. Double check that math. Double check this wording. Whenever you attack, untap each creature you control, then tap any number of creatures you control. Yep, we'll definitely want to do that. Tap creatures get +1/+0. Hopefully there's no removal. Removal could change the math unfavorably. Although, we're protection from all colors and indestructible. Okay, so that should work. So 5, 8, 12 plus 7 is 19. That's 38. 19 is 38. Oh, well, we're probably overshooting it a little bit. That's going to be 5. And that's going to be 4. That's 9. Double. That should take D-Manny out. Declare attacks. Attack trigger. In response to that, we will ping 1. Just to be safe. Back up to 5 life. Here comes the Augusta trigger. See, the opponent's got Mausoleum Secrets. Oh god, if they even fog. If they even fog. What's opponent get? They get a Pernicious Deed. I think we're safe. Opponent's going to mill us. It's probably not going to be great. Bunch of things into the graveyard. Gonna mill Danny a little. More milling. All right, this is very important. We need to get this trigger right. Tap any number of creatures. Tap, 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 and tap. This one is not attacking. Looks like we have done everything correctly. Always get nervous about a trigger like this, you know, in a critical moment. Card I've never used before on Magic Online the week it came out. You never know if everything's gonna work the way it's supposed to. Seems like it's working, though. Our team is pumped up. I think I almost made a math mistake with Endbringer, but I think we're okay. I think everything's cool. So I told everyone I don't know how this deck wins, and he said, I think I figured out how it wins. A Chroma's Will. Chroma's Will is really good. Telling opponents I didn't even Aurelia or anything. Both of them go down, and nice. We go to 59. I'm feeling good. You know, there's potential that Daxos could make a big play on us, although we could just stop it from attacking, which is probably going to be a really good idea. Let's go ahead and do that just to prevent anything untoward from happening, much as I would like to draw the card. Endbringer. Getting so much done with Endbringer. We timed it so well. Not a ton of removal this game. I think we played most of it. And opponents just not having anything to shoot the Endbringer. Been huge for us. Back to our turn. Mana Crypt flip. Feeling good now. Tails. Lost the flip. Hazoret's Monument is a cool card. Let's play a Hazoret's Monument. I don't know if we just have them. Play the Solemn Simulacrum. We can loot, but we have nothing to loot. Land. Use the ability. Get a Plains. Plains number 6. Oh, I know what we could do. We can... If we make this not able to attack or block, that should be enough. Make a thingy with this. Yeah, this should be enough damage. Go to combat. Web of Inertia trigger. Exile a land. Send everything. Augusta trigger. I think Vigilance seems like it might be really good with the Augusta trigger, because then you can attack, activate, Augusta will untap, and then do the thing again. Oh god, it's Ether Spouse. Oh no. Oh no. That is not the card you want to see. Okay, how do we get out of this? Sack this Burnished Heart. Step 1, I guess. At least we still have the Endbringer. Get a Plains. Get 2 Plains. Actually, we should have saved the Plains. Case of Amaria Shepherd. Whoopsie. Hopefully that doesn't bite us. We are on 8 Plains, though. Put on the top or bottom of our library... I think we just put everything on top. Top, 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 and top. Well, that was savage. I guess our creatures are untapped. That's cool, right? Opponent saying, oh, yeah. Make a thing. Oh, we have Kiki-Jiki in the graveyard. That card is silly. We could have 2 Endbringers. Opponent's got stuff. Vanishment, gonna get rid of our Endbringer. Put target non-land permanent on top of its owner's library. Not a great place for it to be. We get a 4-2. Kiki-Jiki. We're probably on Kiki-Jiki something. Stern Judge is in the graveyard. No more swamps in play, though. That's how you finish this thing up. Can't block it. Our stuff's too big. Oh, no, I think Endbringer's on top of our deck. They can cast the Endbringer. They don't have... Oh, they do have 1 colorless mana. No blocks. Daxos trigger. What do they get? Endbringer? That's disappointing. Oh, we have a Homeward Path in play. Yes, walk into our Homeward Path trap. Haha! They're casting the Endbringer. Nice. They don't see it. They don't see it. That's why I played it early, just in case something like this would happen. Mana Crypt. Amaria is now active. Let's get our Kiki, because Kiki is a silly card. Kiki's back, choosing heads. There's Jaya Ballard. Let's Homeward Path. Get back our Endbringer. Give it haste. Make another Endbringer. Draw with War Room. It's the Petrarch Paladin. It's not the one I wanted. Cast Jaya. Hazaret's Monument. Loot the Paladin. Oh, that's an Aurelia. That'll finish it. Hopefully they're out of stuff. I don't know how that got there. I feel like we had more things in the way. Are we out of red mana? Oh, we're out of red mana. Crap. Well, it's not going to be this turn. It's not going to be this turn. Sadness. I guess keep making things with Rakamar. Go to combat. Web of Inertia. Get rid of the Strip Mine. Send them all. Oh, I think this is enough, actually. Opponent says Ether Eyes. Opponent finally goes down. That was a nice play by opponent at the end with the Ether Spouts. Yeah, fun game right there. Got to see a lot of stuff out of our opponent's decks. There's a Maria Shepherd. Somehow our deck got shuffled. I didn't see when that happened. We lost some of the stuff at the top. Was our commander in the command zone? Oh, our commander was in the command zone. Whoops. So yeah, we would have been able to get lethal damage easily that way. Sweet. That went so much better than I expected. And bonus points, we got to use a lot of Endbringer. Endbringer was key this game and did a bunch of awesome stuff. There's a few times that I've played it in the past, not necessarily on video. I think it showed up like one time on video a while back where I had equally as much fun. But Endbringer is the type of card you play it and someone just shoots it immediately. The fact that that didn't happen today was amazing. Makes me so happy. So yeah, this is Augusta Dean of Order, tap creature tribal. Probably still a few little things to iron out in the deck. I really want to get a Skull Clamp in here. 35 creatures, probably want to get it down to about 30. Win condition is like, figure it out, put some things together, hope it works type of thing. Like I mentioned, there are a few cards in the deck that are just in here because they're new, like this Rune Grinder, something I wanted to get a look at. We didn't see, though. A few other cards as well. We've got the real cute Stern Judge thing with Urborg, because I thought it would be funny. You don't have to run that necessarily. I just wanted to throw in something a little bit cute, since I'm already playing a bunch of stuff that I don't usually get to use anyway. Yeah, and there's a bunch of creatures in here that could probably still use some testing. Is Petrarch Paladin actually good enough? I don't know. It's slow, it's mana intense, but you get to destroy permanents, and that's cool. Are these bracers good enough? Don't know, need to see them. And there's a few other things I'd like to test out as well. Unfortunately, I didn't really get a feel on anything that wasn't good enough. Maybe this Pyromancer is actually like not that great. But you know what? That could probably just be the Skull Clamp. This would have been a really easy game if we had a Skull Clamp and we were able to draw some cards somewhere along the way. Would have been huge. The big thing in this game, too, is that we were last in the turn order, facing down two decks who had Soul Ring starts, so that's not an easy place to come back from. I actually thought we were going to die to the green-black deck just because they were ahead of us in the turn order. That turn where I was holding the Achroma's Will, I'm like, oh man, we need to untap. There's a lot of ways we could not untap in this turn cycle, and that was very scary. So that was the hold our breath moment. And then also the hold our breath moment, make sure they didn't have a fog that they could tutor at instant speed, which would have been bad. So that was all a thing. We definitely need a little bit more artifact enchantment removal in the deck. Heliod's Intervention, Dismantling Wave, something like that. We're pretty crowded at 3. Maybe we'll go Dismantling Wave. You know what's actually not in the deck right now is Magerite Stone and 1,000-Year Elixir. Kind of just forgot about those as I was doing stuff. Need to work these into the deck somehow. One thing I thought about too is like doing pingers and making sure you have a lot of death touch. I didn't go deep enough on it here. I don't know if the pingers are actually good enough. Like, they're fun, and, we did get to shoot a lot of 1/1s today, so that was cool. But, Endbringer shoots many more things than Jessica does. So, I don't know. Maybe we cut Jessica. I don't know if that's actually good enough. Got the 1,000-Year Elixir in there. We're a little bit over. What are we getting rid of? Lorehold Command is in here just to test out. It does a lot of nice things. Indestructible and Haste is cool. That definitely does stuff for you, but it is a little bit pricey. I pulled Teferi's Protection out just to test some newer stuff. Same thing with Enlightened Tutor. I know what those cards do. I've seen them a lot. We probably need more Vigilance in the deck. Might be something like Always Watching. Might be a nice little pickup for this deck. Creatures are down to 33. We can cut Mother of Runes for now. That's something you'd want to add as things get more spiky. Or, if you kind of go all in on like the Jaya Ballard plan, it can be helpful for that. Monologue Tax, I'm still testing. We can cut Rune Grinder. That's just a test card. There we go, down to 30 creatures, which is where I wanted to get to. Probably need a little bit of work. Maybe if we can find a couple ways to get some things from 3 mana to 2 mana, that'd be the next step I'd probably like to take. But for now, these are some very reasonable changes. Oh, we never got that enchantment removal in, did we? No, I don't think we did. So let's get that in. Let's get a Heliod's Intervention. You could go Dismantling Wave also. Oh, I guess we have the Angel. Not that you want only the Angel, but you could build a sweet Reanimator with this thing. On the Plargg Dean of Chaos side, that's probably going to be my next step. Just being able to loot the big stuff you don't want, and yeah, that'll be exciting. That'll probably be a pretty strong deck, I would imagine. Get back like Aurelias and Morogs and stuff. Yeah. We can probably cut a land in this deck. I had some flip lands in here. I need to work on the mana base for this deck a little bit. Mana base is definitely getting dicey. We'll stay at 36 lands. That's a responsible land count. I think I pulled out all the flip lands, but I'd like to get some back in at some point. You know, I do wonder if Bridget is good enough. If people can just see it, they probably don't attack you, but you could probably also use it as a deterrent. Like, yeah, attack them all you want. You're fine. So, I don't know. Have to see with that one.
Commander Replay t-shirts, available in orange and colors beside orange.